Hi guys, so this right here is supposedly an 8000Hz polling magnetic keyboard from Redragon that retails for around $65. Can this be any good? Let's find out. Let's start with the overall build and build quality. From the surface, it is very clear that this board is mostly plastic. The keycaps are shine-through PBT with pretty inconsistent lettering, and some of the text is very thin and some of it is very thick. The case is then all ABS plastic with some adjustable feet that you can pop up. One really weird thing they have done is put a USB port on the side, which then makes a really annoying experience with any USB cable that is not angled. So basically most of them. Like, just look at this. Why would you even do this? This also prevents you from changing the case to a nicer one, since none of them have this really weird port placement. Like Redragon. Come on! I took this board apart to see what's inside and was met with this plastic hollowness instantly. And there is in fact almost no effort done to make this board sound even remotely good. There is no foam anywhere, and at first I thought the switch plate was also plastic, but after scratching some of that paint layer off, it is revealed that it is actually aluminium. But the thing is, in the case of this keyboard, it just makes the board sound louder since there is no sound dampening anywhere. To my surprise, the stabilizer looping is actually pretty generous, and they have managed to eliminate the rattleness from the stabilized keys very well. It seems that they just ran out of loop in the process and none was left for the switches, which are then just bone dry. Speaking of the switches, they are most likely rebranded magnetic switches from Otemu compared to the lacquer switches that Wooting uses. The magnets on these are rather small, which then most likely makes the strength of the magnetic field also small on these switches. That is something that then affects directly how accurate all the sensitivity settings can be on the keyboard. One thing that I also noticed on these switches is that the base of them is open. So if you ever would like to loop them, the loop would not stay inside the switch as well. Luckily, these would not fit on my switch opener, so I had a good excuse to not even try looping these. Let's do a quick sound test and then talk about how typing on this feels. So typing on this keyboard is something I don't enjoy doing basically at all, and the longest message I would actually type on this is the GG I say to my teammates after dying off RIP in Apex Ranked. The experience is loud, plasticky and cheap. Also, I've claimed that this board is capable of 8000Hz polling, but in reality it is still scanning at 1000Hz. So in practice it is basically just a 1000Hz keyboard. The game performance on this board is acceptable, and for example super gliding is possible, not as consistent as I can get with the Wooting, but still possible. The rapid trigger implementation is also okay and responsive, but one thing I noticed however is that the actuation distance setting is not the most accurate, and I could notice an effect only at differences around 0.5 millimeters. Usually I get the most consistent super glides with the crouch key set at 0.1 millimeters below my jump key, but with this keyboard I had to set the difference to 1 millimeters over my jump key. There is of course other factors affecting the consistency, like the switch tension, keycap profile and typing angle, but going back and forth with different distances in Superglide Trainer, only the 1 millimeter difference made an impact to my Superglide consistency. Other things you can do in their software is of course set some RGB lighting, set up dynamic keystrokes and assign macros. And there is also a setting called Journey of Pressing and Releasing, and while it sounds like the name of a weird indie adult film, it's just a setting to put different distances to the switch actuation and deactuation. But in conclusion, is this board a good keyboard? I would say no. It represents so many things I dislike in the more traditional gaming peripheral market and have so many brain dead decisions that prevent you from even trying to make this board a little better. So even at $65, I would not recommend this board to anyone. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Goodbye.